What's up, everybody? Brett here, back today playing some more Battle Brothers on our company Origins experimental testing dirty peasant playthrough. What's up, guys? I'm feeling good today. Feeling great, and we are picking up where we left off last time. We were right outside of Bramingstead. We have a quest here to go from Bramingstead to, I think it's Idlewald. That's kind of far. It's a day's travel. It's barely worth it. So I thought, you know what, let's just strike out from here and see what we can see. And as I started moving, I basically moved for 2 seconds, and I saw these guys. So that's definitely a fight we can take. We've got some injuries, though, namely Sigurd. I went ahead and switched up his armor. I gave him the best armor we have to match his two-handed style. And we're going to keep him in the back here. We're going to keep him safe. We picked up another set of throwing axes, which I think I gave to Caravan. So now we've got throwing axes on Werner, Caravan, and on Ulvar. Ulvar, however, does not have the best range skill, but I'm sure he'll get there. But most of our other bros are kind of in like the 40 range, and that's kind of where I want them to be, 40 to 50 by the end of it. And we'll have an entire front row of throwing weapon brothers, and this is awesome because the barbarians, the thralls themselves, I think are the best way for us to grind these out early. I mean, raiders and stuff, they generally have them too, but it seems like almost all of these thralls have throwing weapons. So our odds of getting them seem pretty high. Man, these big warhounds. We got to get through them fast. Yeah, just like this, guys. Look, I'm already seeing javelins and some throwing axes. Well, what we really don't want to do is miss here. We've been kind of plagued by low stats. Which is, I mean, that's the essence of this run, right? We'll pass there. So what I don't want to do is leave Wolfram alone in this fight. Because if he misses twice, he's just out of it. Yeah, and the dogs are really, man. So this is important to know too, I suppose. Dogs are a pretty good counter strategy to what we're doing. Alright, so I opted to hit this one instead of like having absolute faith that we would be able to crush here with Kalki. We'll move around this way with Sigurd. His armor's in good shape, but his health is just not. And instead of letting people jump in on him, we'll keep him in reserve, and if we get a chance, we will, use him as a bit of a flanker. Step down this way. Yeah, and I think we generally want to kind of try and stand toe-to-toe with Magnus here if we can. So, I mean, 3 down on turn 1 is not bad. Hopefully this dog doesn't smash us. Okay, it didn't. Okay, we ate a throwing axe there. We ate 1 javelin. Okay, multiple javelins. Ow. Alright, Magnus is taking some hits, and they landed the stun there. Pretty rough for us. We need to help out Magnus. So we're going to prioritize his targets. Yeah, but every time we miss like that, it feels pretty bad. Let's move in here and shut this guy down. No javelins for him. Yeah, we double whiffed there. Feels bad. Alright, time to use the hammer. Had a feeling that would happen, but I think we're good enough on Sigurd. Even with his injuries and his problems, I think he's still good enough to handle this dude, even if he had to do it by himself. We're going to step in here. This is mildly dangerous, but it gives us a slightly better surround. See what they do. Good. He's going to have to switch. And he switches to the spear, which is kind of one of those weapons I didn't really want to see. Oh man, lucky tosses. because it gives him increased accuracy, and we don't want him to hit us because we're at that really low HP total. Alright, double whiff. You know what, let's jump in melee on this dude. It's not efficient at all in terms of like our ability to hit him. But what we're trying to do right now is get a surround. Alright, we've missed I think 4 or 5 attacks on him, which could mean doom for Magnus. Gotta love the hammer, guys. It just does all the work we need it to every single time, it seems like. Alright, let's hope Magnus doesn't die here. It's a pretty big ask, because all he needs to do is probably get hit twice. Yeah. So he didn't die. Yet. 6 HP. Rough. Alright, at least this time we landed our attack. Happy to get the better surround before we actually get in there. Alright, down he goes. Perfect. The axe hammer lands. We got our bros on it. Magnus, you hang out. And ideally here we could get like some sort of quadruple surround. And now we have a pretty good surround on this guy who's almost dead. Yeah, scary there for a second. And that's why, I mean, armor matters so much in these fights. Alright, down he goes. One problem solved. He's got 2 stacks of bleed. Perfect. Ah, okay. If we land this, he's gone, and he's gone. Alright. So Magnus, for his trouble, he did level, but he's going to have a long road to recovery before he's super useful again. But lots of good levels. And for our trouble, no gear whatsoever that we could use. Probably enough medical supplies to cover the costs. And then between the bone figurines and the bead necklace and all the junk, I don't know, I guess that was worth it. But sadly, we're not on any kind of a mission right now. We're not making any real money. Let's get into Thal. Sell what we can. We've got 4 more days. Let's camp and maybe speed up our healing process. Just a tiny bit. So the prices here supposedly are still bad. They love us so much that the prices are actually still fine. But yeah, the bear hat still is reading 19. Of course, guys, we have the golden goose, which was an amazing pickup last episode. If you didn't watch, we found that legendary location, and it was awesome. 4 days worth of food is not a ton. We could consider buying more, because we're currently sitting at, 1,100 gold. Let's look at the hires and see if there's anyone we want. So there's a poacher. So what our company is missing right now is archers, more than anything. And if I can't get hunters, which I'm honestly not sure, hunters are a higher tier background for sure, but I don't know if they're considered nobility. I wish, if you know in the comment section, let me know. I think it was Mr. Blue was telling me that certain characters are off limits. But yeah, I don't have a list in front of me. I should probably get that. For next episode, I'll be able to give you guys more concrete information on which classes are off limits in the peasant company origin. But for right now, we're definitely going to hire this dude. That's going to put us up to 12 men, which is nice. We needed that. Thankfully, for once, our poacher actually has a single star in range skill as opposed to not having anything. Because he's faint-hearted, his resolve is -5, which is not the worst. He's using a wonky bow though, which is trash. We can compare the stats for a second. Less durability. This has 30 to 50 damage, which is the same. But it has, this is the kind of the kicker. It has an additional 10% chance to miss, basically. And it also causes more fatigue. So it's just literal garbage. You sell it every time. And he's going to be a dedicated archer as opposed to someone like, where are you, buddy? Did I change you up? Oh, here we go. Yeah. As opposed to Halston, who's kind of, we've been sort of using him as a billman, and that's just mostly because he sucks. So, honestly, I want crossbows right now. These guys' stats are way too low for archery to be reliable at this point in the game, and the payoff just isn't there. So, yeah, crossbows would be a pretty big thing for us. So where do we go from here? So Burke is a decent character. He's got athletic, which is really good. His stats are not bad. Let's go ahead and see what... Yeah, so let's take a 3 there. Not going to pass a 3 there and a 4 here. Very good rolls. Kind of like my ideal rolls. He's one of those guys, I don't know if he'll stay a billman or if he'll eventually become like a two-hander, because his melee skill is getting there, you know? And he doesn't have any bad negatives or anything like that. So I want to build him in such a way that even if he becomes a two-hander or however I might want to transition him, he'll always be useful, right? So along that lines, we have options. I mean, Steel Brow is pretty good for almost any brother that's standing in the front line. But if you get Colossus, you're also reducing the chance of injuries. So, I mean, I like not being able to be crit in the head. That's fine. So what I want to look for is like utilitarian, universally good perks. I thought that when I went into this, I would want to get Crippling Strikes Executioner on every single brother, which would make us absolute killing machines with 16 brothers versus certain types of enemies, but against others it would be very ineffective. Right now, honestly, my thought is to hold off on this perk point. To hold off until we get into this lower, better tier, and then we can start getting, you know, other things. Pathfinder might also be a good thing to consider for this playthrough. There were lots of times where Pathfinder would have helped us. You know what? Rotation might also be great. But like I said, I'm looking at his stats right now and I'm thinking this guy could be a great two-hander. And when I build two-handers, I want them to be tanky. So maybe Steel Brow is kind of a good universal trait. Then he ends up with something like Underdog, in case he gets surrounded. Reach Advantage. Reach Advantage would be something I would get for him, as well as Battle Forged. Berserk, of course. You know what, let's just get him Steel Brow. That's fine with me. It's defensive, it's nice. Okay, here we have our Fisherman. Let's check out what his issue is. He's disloyal, but determined. Interesting. We'll take that 3 roll. We'll take that one. And then sure, we'll just take a little bit of extra resolve. Get him closer to 50, I suppose. And then for him, it's kind of the same thing. It's just, but what role do we see him in? This guy I'm even less sure about because he just doesn't have the stats to back up. And I don't really want that many two-handers in this particular build. I want a wide front line of shield bros and a deep back line of crossbowmen and archers. And I think that's how this build is going to win. The whole front line I want to have throwing, and the whole back line I want to have shooting. And we just rain fire on people on the approach. That was my general idea. And if some of these guys in the back line are able to like multitask in a way, then that's for the best. But So honestly, I think what I want to give this dude is quick hands. And then Magnus here. Take that 3. Take that 4. And then we'll take that 3. Very good rolls for Magnus as well. So he is 100% going to be a frontline bro. Let's give him quick hands as well. For when we get our next set of throwing weapons. If I had more throwing weapons, I would give them to him right now to use. But I'm happy. So we have some archers now. Let's do something like, where exactly is the center of our formation? This is a good point to do a little reorganization. We can spread out our throwing weapons just a little bit so we have a little more coverage. These two need to heal, obviously. But now we need to try and find a quest or something we can do. That guy was pretty expensive that we just bought. What type of armor is he wearing? He's wearing a rugged surecoat, which is not that bad. It's 55. His helmet's trash, so let's hook him up. Sell that. Keep a backup. Because right now I'm looking at this padded leather to see if we want that. But there are also basic male shirts and things. So yeah, there's nothing here for us, sadly, guys. So we need to just move on. And if we're moving on, let's do something a little different. Let's go kind of a circuitous route here. See if we can pick up any more of those fights. Because this is definitely a huge hub of barbarian activity, which is kind of our skill level right now. So let's try and pick a fight. I'll go back to Bramingstead and I'll take that contract that lets us travel. So I was thinking a lot about this playthrough and the company origin in general. And I feel like, man, I don't know if we got lucky or screwed or if we're somewhere in the middle. Because I feel like this origin can be extremely easy. Or it can be extremely difficult depending on your first couple battles and the first couple, interactions that you have. And I think we just kind of had some middle of the road things happen. It was awesome that we were able to pick up a barbarian as early as we did. And of course it's great that we're able to get the golden goose. Yeah, let's just go. I accept the contract. And yeah, man. We'll buy some tools. Alright, let's go. So, I don't know why, but I thought that was an escort mission, so that's my bad. If I had known that was all it was, I would have 100% taken it already, and we would have just headed straight down there. So while on the march, you find a drunken nobleman tottering side to side on the path. Mussy is the name of his hair, leaves and grass and what looks like bird shit swept up in it like someone stirred the ingredients to a prank. But his clothes sweep about him with the finest of silks, and his fingers glisten with jewelry. He has a bottle in each hand and he swings them around as he sings gibberish pub songs. He is in all regards the greatest magnet for a mugging you've ever seen. Houston purses his lips, and he looks like a wolf staring at a fat sheep. I'm not saying nothing, sir. I'm just seeing it. That's a lot of juice. A lot of juice limping down the road. But again, I ain't saying nothing. You know what he's talking about. So guys, in previous Let's Plays, we've definitely been noble captains and men of honor who have fought the monsters of the world. But we are nobleman-hating peasants we're just, like, we hate this guy. Screw him and his ability to think that he can just safely walk down the road. Now, I don't think I've ever seen this interaction. I'm going to rob him. Because I feel like that's what a group of noble-hating peasants would do if they saw a drunk noble. I'm not saying I'm going to kill the guy, but we'll rob him. Hopefully, this doesn't turn into him fighting us back and then we have to kill a defenseless dude and take his shirt. Like, I hate that type of stuff. So let's rob him and see what happens. Oh no, okay. You walk up to the man and help him sit down. He grins as one of his bottles clanks off the path and rolls away. Thank a cup, sir. Jas, no well ya? Nodding his hand out and spit on his fingers, then roll the jewelry off and pocket them. He merely watches as though you were a physician treating a malady. The rest of your mercenaries strip him down and throw a goatskin tarp over him, and then leave him there. As you walk away, he asks if you know about the drink. Not saying away the secret, but sirs, drinks are good. Yeah, you're right. Yes, are they ever. Unfortunately, as you rejoin the company, we Nilly the Second reports that a kid saw everything and scampered off. You ask why you didn't chase after him. He looks at you shrewdly. I'm not the scampering sort, sir. So we gained valuable furs, a signet ring, 70 crowns, but our relation to House Horn has suffered. House Horn is which house? Oh, they're cold towards us. Okay. I mean, it's a house that we're not even, like, doing anything with right now. And that's a relation we can very easily fix. It'll actually improve over time on its own to go back towards neutral. Was that worth it, though? Maybe. But only because we're not interacting with House Thorn at all. But the signet ring plus the valuable furs and the 70 gold, I mean, that was cool. That was probably a net positive. I wonder what would have happened if we just would have hung out with him. Maybe he just would have offered us a bunch of his drinks, and we might have gotten, like, you know, basically like going to a free tavern. I could see that being the case. So yeah, we definitely want to sell everything here. Boom. Boom. We're not going to get better prices than that. And that puts us back up to 1,000 crowns. So what we're going to do is we're going to buy this iron. Or iron. I'm going to buy the copper ingots. And we're going to head down to Idlewold. So it's probably faster to go by road, I would imagine. I was honestly hoping that we would run into a group that we could fight. It may look like we're kind of messing around a little bit, not making too much progress, but I think we are making some good progress. If we can beat these guys, these Reavers or whatever, with some confidence, we might be able to pick up some more good gear. Man, we're at the tipping point, guys, where I will just be very confident in what we can do, but we're not there yet. Yeah, we're going to take this fight for sure. I just don't like our injuries. And remember, we can put 4 more men into battle, which is crazy. 4 more archers, 4 more crossbowmen, you know, whatever the case may be, behind this huge line. I can't wait. We're going to be able to gun down anything. Okay, we're seeing some of these powerful throwing weapons. Try and pick him off on the flank. And we need to close the distance. Because they all have throwing weapons. Like literally all of these dudes. Perfect. Obviously that one barbarian was not the most priority of targets. Let's try and ignore that one guy. I don't really like stepping in with Magnus there, but I did it. What I need to do is give them more targets, or they're just going to hyper-focus him. I was going to say, if we land that hit, we got to kill for sure. So that's 2 dead on the opening round. Close the distance with him. Make sure he's not throwing those ridiculous javelins at us. Those are the heavy ones. They do extra damage. Burke has an injured shoulder, but sadly he's in kind of a rough position. He's like point blank with some pretty gnarly throwing weapons. Really, I just don't like my Magnus positioning. I wish Magnus and Kiriko could switch spots. Rotation might be something we consider heavily for this run. It's something that I always like. It's just hard to find room for in my builds. Oh, that harpoon crushed my shield. Now, thankfully, though, all that's... Oh, man. He's got the big hammer. Did not know that. I took that because it was a 77% chance. Alright guys, that changes some things. We gotta kill this guy. We can't let him hit us with that. And this one's got a cleaver. Our best bet would probably be just to make him run. To hurt him enough that he wants to flee instead of trying to hit us with the hammer. What I was trying to say was that we're basically dual wielding these axes right now, so we're getting bonus damage. Man, if we had landed that first hit, we could have gone for a decapitation here. That was a rough miss. Really rough miss. But we've got a ton of firepower on them. Both of these guys. That's what I'm talking about. We needed these waverings. Yes. Perfect. Their odds of hitting us are now much lower. I forget off the top of my head what the number is. Sorry about that, guys. But, like, I need to... These are the type of facts I need to nail down for you so that I can always give you good information. But I want to say it's like 10%, or it's a decent sized number considering when you add it, you know, accumulatively. But it's not like a huge number. I don't want to mislead you. It's when they start to break that it really adds up. Okay, this guy's landed like every shot. Perfect. So no stupid hammer for you, but we get it. Hell yeah. And just like we earmarked, man, I don't remember who it was now, but one of our backliners, I think it's Burke, if he ever becomes uninjured, we kind of earmarked him already for potential two-handed bro shenanigans. We're going to come back here. It's not going to allow us to attack this turn, but it won't block the line of sight of our archers. Alright, we cut his artery. Come on, man. 2 times Geralt missed this Reaver. This unshielded man. Alright. That's a rout on him. And sadly, Sigurd has missed 2 attacks as well. Kind of happy we saved an attack. But we didn't land it. Okay, they hit Sigurd's armor. That's all acceptable. We just don't want to lose any brothers. That's what it's all about. He's still going. Okay. Let's get in there, get that better surround. So that way, when Sigurd swings his hammer, we have a good chance of actually getting the kill. Nice. And our archers did some work there. I mean, they softened up some targets. They got a kill in the beginning. This is the type of pickups we want. You know, this is a fat stack of gold. When you add all this stuff together, that was super worth. And another two-handed skull hammer is an excellent early weapon for us. So who was that? Was that Burke? I think so. So we'll hook him up there. He would go somewhere out here. Now, this weapon needs to get used. It's such a powerful weapon that for us to not use it now is definitely a mistake. Didn't I give someone quick hands who doesn't have an axe? Or who doesn't have... One second, I'm going to fix that in just a moment. Let's go... Colossus here. Yeah, and you probably noticed I took that 4-roll and range skill. That's because Wolfram is 100% going to be a someone who throws. So, did I have quick hands on someone who does not have throwing axes? And that's on Magnus. Okay. So there we go. So to kind of finish my train of thought, for right now, without great armor, and with him being hurt like this, he's not an effective two-hander. Like, he's just not. And our front line is super wide, which means that our back line, which is where sometimes a lot of that DPS comes from, is just kind of weak. We'll give him the War Fork if we're not going to use it. But I do like having a wide front line because it doesn't confuse the AI necessarily, but it gives the AI so many targets that you'll find that your brothers aren't getting focused down as badly as they otherwise might be. So let's go to Jimenstadt and hope that our copper ingots are worth a ton. Let's see. They're not. Sadly. The prices here, I think they're having some sort of event. Well, the food is cheap. Well, not even all that cheap, really. The prices here are not good. But sadly, man, we really need ammo and we really need tools. I don't want to sell anything here. This place is not in our favor. We got a long road here to get to Idlewold. That's a good time for us to repair. Let's zoom in because last time I think there were raiders here. That's a good time for us to repair and recover. Okay, we're next to a big trading caravan. It's got actual guards. Whoa, that's what I'm talking about. So some raiders here. Only 4 of them though. We could pull them into the caravan. How injured are we really? Not so much anymore. Even Burke here isn't that poor off. Well, we needed to do this as well. I forgot we lost 2 shields in that last engagement. Okay, these suck, but we're going to have to use them. And I just wanted to switch out helmets a little bit. Because if you're going to be in the front line, if you're going to be a two-hander, you need to have the best helmet we can give you. Stick them right there. I think it behooves us to fight these raiders. Cool. Let's get our gold. Let's fight the raiders. Only 4 of them. We have archers. This is what I'm talking about, guys. We want this armor. We want this weapon. Alright, we got some 30%. Wait there. Alright, not a great start. That was great. Burke's going to come in for that last second surround. So we missed 2 35s there. We can spear wall. There's nothing that says we got to step in on that guy. The whole reason we have this particular build is so that they have to come to us. And we're going to get his Morning Star. I mean, that's a strong, pretty strong weapon. So we want to tighten it up, but we don't need necessarily to engage. At some point in this playthrough, Shield Wall will be a great friend of ours, but for right now, you know, like I see Kalki is sticking out, so to speak. Yeah. And he went straight to Kalki to break his shield. That goes around shields. So that's important to know. But we got to kill this dude with the pike. Perfect. We hit him in the head. Get wrecked. He's the most dangerous. He's public enemy number 1. So we're going to put all our archer shot. There we go. That's perfect, guys. It doesn't look like we got the pike, though. Which definitely makes me sad. So we're kind of winning this, if you haven't noticed, through sheer numbers. And that's okay. I mean, this is what we need to do. We're peasants. We need to take the fights we know we can win, snatch up the gear we can get. I mean, of all the gear that was on the field, this is like the least valuable. I wanted those helmets pretty badly. More of the mail would have been great, and that pike would have been an excellent pickup. But it's really hard to complain. Two of those weapons are very strong. We can kind of compare them to some of the other stuff we're using, Scramasax and things like that. But let's give Lyria the flail. So 25 to 55 versus 25 to 30. So, I mean, already you can kind of see the huge damage increase. It has a plus chance to hit head, but, you know, she was using the spear because she, her weapon skill is so low that we needed to give her all the edge we could. It'll probably translate into her using a sword at some point, but for right now we just don't have that. And then the Morning Star is a pretty comparable weapon, so we can kind of just take a look at the exact raw stats of it all. But yeah, just a very strong weapon. We need to give that to someone. Probably over like a Scramasax. Yeah, something like that. And this patched mail shirt will go on to Burke. That'll help him be a little bit tankier, kind of along the line of Ulvar here. Ulvar is still rocking this scrap metal armor. I think he's actually the worst armor. No, he's not. That title of worst armored goes to Wolfram here with his blotched gambeson. But that was a cool fight, and we need to take some time to recover once again. Let's go into Idlewild. They already paid us, but we have some pretty severe needs. We need... Okay, the ammo here is pretty cheap, so we'll do something with that. This will make us 46 crowns for each one of these. The prices here aren't amazing, but they're not terrible either. Let's buy some roots. I'm going to take this. And we are going to roll around now with a nice fat stack of cash. But we need tools. And this place has nothing for us. I don't think anything at all. Maybe they have someone we can recruit. Yeah, lots of poachers. Huh. This guy is way more expensive than this one, and I don't know why. We want poachers, guys. We can actually afford to pick up both of these dudes. That's probably worth it. So let's look at Lars. So after a long and hard winter that left him without a stock of food, Lars took to the woods to hunt game with bow and spear. Hailing from Idlewild, Lars was poaching, an act of rebellion against the order of things as much as a means to fill his belly. After a bad hunt led him to a long stay in a lord's dungeon, he'd rather put his neck on the line as a mercenary now than in the noose as a poacher. Okay. Oh, wow, look at these defensive stats. Oh no, I was about to say I was looking at the wrong guy. Even still, he's insecure. That's crappy. But he does have some decent stars in combat-related things. Range defense is also not bad, considering that you kind of want some good range defense on your archers. Is what makes them good, like counter archers. So we can give them a little bit better gear. But I think we will end up getting that other archer as well. So wait a second. Let's look. This is Caravan. Caravan's a militiaman with good stats. That's a solid pickup. That's a solid pickup. And we'll just take a 2 there. And then for this, Caravan is going to... just go with Brawny for now. That's a guaranteed pickup. It only counts for 3 fatigue now, but in the future it'll be like dozens. And then this background is a lumberjack. We don't have any lumberjacks, but he's pretty expensive because we're essentially paying for this guy's hand axe. I would love to get him though. I don't know, even remember the last time I had a lumberjack. And I don't just want to have like 6 poachers in my group. But if these are the best archers I'm going to get, then that's what I want to take. Okay. Let's hire him. I love it. We're already at 14 men in combat. That's so cool. So let's check him out. What did we get? He came with a militia spear. Why, I don't know. But he's got quick. So plus 10 initiative, which can be very good on an archer because we're going to want to build these archers out with nimble and dodge. Awesome. And as far as like ranged capability goes, I mean, he's starting out at 48. That's pretty medium for like low tier peasantry. Unfortunately though, his stars are in hit points. But he also has some in initiative, so he could be a pretty hard to hit type of guy. We'll just give them spears in the back in case they need to defend themselves. But it's crazy because this guy's going to be a great hybrid. That's worth noticing too. Like, he'll be able to whip out a polearm and smash someone with it. Whereas, you know, Hadabrand maybe, and the rest of these guys, like Halston here. Halston's just a strong bro. Alright guys, those are great pickups. And we made a ton, but now we're broke again. I don't even care what this contract is because we just can't take it. We need to head back up to really just Thal is really the only place I want to go to, but unfortunately Thal is out of tools and we are almost out of tools. And we now are out of tools. So I would love to know where those brigands are, like where they're spawning from. Maybe we could take a cool fight with just some raiders and some thugs. We're still kind of honestly in that thug killing tier. We're not quite. I don't want to fight 12 raiders right now. That would be an incredibly dangerous battle for us. But to kill a couple thugs or 12 thugs, we could definitely do that without much danger. And once we get to the point where we have 16 men, it's going to be on. Now, they're such low level and low backgrounds that they're not really affecting our pay that much by adding those 2 extra dudes, but what we are splitting now is even more experience among our bros, so our leveling process is going to be much slower. But I would rather have 16 combat effective level 6s than like 9 combat effective level 10s or whatever. Okay, we need tools. The tools here are not terribly priced, so we will pick those up. Keeping a few weapons, of course, in reserve. There's some minor armor upgrades here that we could consider. They also have an armory. I want that male coif, but I can't get it. I want these shirts, but I can't get them. Let's see what these contracts are, because that'll really dictate what we do here. We really want them to be like, go to this place and destroy it for us, because that's where we're going to make our most money. So a bird is perched on Horik the councilman's window. The man seated points at it. I wonder if that's how they got in. The brigands, I mean. I think they must have snuck through a window and then right back out. That's how they got away with my rare coin collection. Man, I don't care about your coins. The man slowly rises and stalks across the room. He crouches, about ready to pounce on the bird, but the creature scatters before the man can so much as flinch. Damn. He returns to his seat, wiping his hands, as if he'd worked up a sweat during his attempted avian ambush. My task is simple, Sellsword. Bring my property back to me. Kill the brigands too, if you wouldn't mind. 280 crowns is not a lot. But that's what we got to do. Let's follow these tracks. It may end up being a forest battle. Or not. Alright, thieves. So, some thugs and poachers. I don't hate it. I don't hate fighting poachers, mostly because we could use some extra quivers on our bros. You catch up. You catch a group of brigands lugging your employer's property around. They seem shocked that you have found them here, and no time is wasted trying to parley. They arm themselves, and you order the dirty peasants to charge. So this should be an easy fight, like I was saying. But they have their own archers. We could take some aim shots. That's probably prudent when your skills are low. And if we still miss, it sucks, but I mean, it'll happen. See if we can hit this guy. The only really bad thing about this build strategy is that we're going to run through ammo like crazy. Throwing axes and things like that. But I guess what you could consider also as a bit of a counterpoint is that by getting these kills from far away, what we don't pay for is tools because no one's getting close enough to hit our armor. So I mean there's some like counter argument. Boy, that was cool. Let's get in there, Werner. And hopefully we get some of these shields. Or this one shield at least. I don't see any other ones. But if we get that, then we can replace this busted up shield he's currently using. We'll take this fight on the low ground. I don't love it. Nice. We'll step in and lock down this thug here. Alright, they're going to get to go first, of course. I'm really only worried about Sigurd up here because the pick does great armor piercing. Like how he's hiding behind the guy with the sling. That's messed up. Look at the damage he just did with that. Or maybe armor piercing is the wrong. I think it does great damage to armor. Come on, guys. Boy, he really went the wrong way from what I wanted. Unfortunately, we don't seem to be able to like hit anything. Let's move up to support Sigurd before he takes like a super hard shot to the body. Or he'll just one-shot the man on the hill. Okay, double whiff, but it doesn't matter. He's already running, so we're safe. The best thing for us right now, we want to try and lock down this poacher, but we haven't been able to do that. Can we step in one more? We can't. I think that's it. So, of course, we're going to get these 2 kills, but I think the poacher's going to get away. Yeah, he's just going to run. And we still have no dogs, which is not surprising. Dogs are like an expensive commodity. Expensive commodity that you shouldn't have like honestly until the late game anyway. And we're gonna let them run when the time comes. Adrenaline, rotation, Pathfinder, these are all like extremely useful perks that I kind of want to get on a lot of different bros. See, now I'm just like throwing away money. I'm not doing that. Even killing him gets me nothing because all he has is a cleaver. So that kind of wasteful spending of ammunition at this early critical stage in the game is not good. Later in the game, you know, for us buying a stack of ammo will, you know, it's nothing. But for right now, having to spend 150 crowns to take 20 shots, I mean, we might waste 20 shots over the course of a couple battles. And that's wasting 150 gold, which we don't want to do. So we got some good levels. We picked up that extra shield we were hoping to get, and I think the Rugged Surcoat is probably an upgrade for one of our new poachers. Alright, we have your rare coin collection, sir. And who had the crummy shield? There we go. You now have a shield you can be proud of, and you are wearing a leather tunic. Okay, that's better. Alright, and I think that's it. Nope, got a level. Got some levels to do. So student, of course, on everyone. Happy to see a nice 4 roll and range skill. That makes me feel good. We'll take this 4 in hit points. And we'll take this 3 in range defense. I like to get my guys up to at least 10. And if I do it now as opposed to later, that's all well and good. Okay, some big numbers there. Take that 3 for sure. The question is whether or not we take a 2. We go for maybe this 4 in resolve, or this 3 in range defense. I mean, with 2 stars, I'm super surprised we're not getting like bigger numbers than this. I think we're going to keep pumping his melee. His melee skill is crazy low. I think he was kind of always supposed to be a shield bro. Someone else is going to end up picking up, like, I mean, like, look at Magnus. Magnus is way more geared towards being a two-hander. We've already put one perk in quick hands. But I mean, like, 68 is so much more than 55. Kalki would also make a pretty good two-hander as well. Let's do something like this. Let's switch up roles, switch up gear. Yeah, I like that. Because he already had, you know, Shield Expert. I think I was using that as a temporary thing. I'm glad I didn't kind of just completely forget about it. Kalki may also not end up being the guy as well, because he has Rally the Troops. I like to have my sergeants in a centralized location. Not saying that we couldn't put our two-handers in the center of our formation. There's nothing wrong with that. That's also pretty good. But with his missing eye, he'll never be able to use a throwing weapon. So he's kind of already a little bit outside of our strategy. But he could be an amazing taunt bro. For right now, though, we'll just get him brawny. But these are the type of things that it's really good to settle on early. Really define your roles. Like Burke, I think, is excellent. This guy is a great two-hander. And I think Magnus would be as well, but Quick Hands isn't exactly a waste. I mean, we could always use throwing weapons and then pull out a two-handed weapon. So we'll consider that. It's just something to keep in mind as we keep playing. Gotta find the right use for each bro according to their stats and, you know, their traits. That's half the fun of the game. It's like a little puzzle. You're trying to figure it out, you know. So we're broke on tools and ammo once again. It's a fine line we're walking. We're going to sell off the majority of the junk. It gives us a little bit of room to play, but not much. We're going to have to take whatever this is. So Rainer the Younger is listening to the talk of a few peasants when you find him. When they see you, they quickly depart, leaving the man with a satchel in hand. He holds it up. There's crowns in here. Crowns that those people are giving to me to give to someone, anyone to help us. People are disappearing, Sellsword, and when they are found, they're not just dead, but mangled, mutilated. Everyone is too scared to go anywhere. What's it worth? So 760 crowns. Hunt down what terrorizes Jim and Scott. Last time we did this, though, it was a pretty scary group of Nagzurs. I think we lost someone in that fight, but we ultimately came out ahead. You stumble across a corpse in the grass. Ordinarily, the dead aren't that much of a surprise. There are people everywhere, so it's only a matter of time until you see a body here and there. Except this one has huge gash marks down the back, and its organs missing. Kalki walks up. The organs are gone because of wolves, or maybe even rabbits. What, you ain't never heard of a really hungry rabbit? He spits and chews on a fingernail. Anyhow, the markings. That ain't the work of no rabbit or hound or whatever. That's something bigger, more dangerous. You thank the man for his astute observations and tell him to rejoin the ranks. I mean, it could be direwolves, it could be Nagzurs, which is probably what it is. I don't know what the variables are here. I can only anecdotally tell you that most of the time it's either direwolves or Nagzurs. Man, they're running me all over the place. So it's a plethora of them. I can't see their number. Whoa, 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 whoa. I don't want to fight them at night. I have the advantage during the day. Oh my god, I can't see the number. It's 21. Guys, you know what we're going to do? No, 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 no. Supply caravan. Come. Join me. Got it. Nailed it. So the supply caravan is going to have well-armed troops to help us. If they're all level 1 guys, no problem. It's a puzzle at that point, but we can figure it out, right? We can kill them in an order, that way they don't become powerful, and we can do it. But if there's 1, 2, 3 level 3 guys in this, we're going to have a bad day. And right now it looks like it's a complete army made up of entirely level 1s. Also, in the pursuit of not wasting cash, I wish I had more of these war forks. We are going to completely switch over to all melee options. Look at these dudes with bill hooks and stuff. The best thing we could have done was draw them into this caravan, for sure. We're not going to use our throwing weapons. We're not going to use anything. If we were desperate straits and we just had to win, then yeah, we would do it. But this is entirely manageable. And I might not have even resorted to pulling them in had I known that it was all level 1 guys. And of course, guys, when I say level 1, I just mean these are the smallest tier of Nagzurs. If you're not familiar with the enemy. Nagzer? I don't know. I think I would just have to hear it pronounced correctly one time. But I don't know if I ever have. So we have a nice wide front line. Their billmen are supporting us. I don't like that their footmen decided to back up, because it makes me think they're going to just completely abandon me here. There's some good choke points that we could make, kind of like a flank here and a choke point here. But with their support, I just kind of want to hold this line. Oh my god, billmen, you fool. They're so much better armored than we are. They're wearing mail hauberks. They've got kettle hats. Because these things still hurt, as you just saw. Yeah. They're weak, but they're not. It's not that they can't hurt us. Especially in numbers, they can do quite a serious amount of damage. Let's just let these footmen tank. And as we get the kills, we're going to step forward and onto the bodies so that they can't reclaim them and eat them, which is what they do to grow stronger. So I won't narrate that whole type of thing every time we fight these enemies, but for now, for those of you who perhaps are unfamiliar, I think it's cool that I break down the fight a little bit for you guys. Let's get Wolfram up there. Let's get Burke up here. I really don't want to be the tip of the spear for this fight. So I'm going to move in like this, cautiously. The only reason I moved up down here is because I wanted that high ground. And we've made like a little wall here. I wanted that kill though. Alright, perfect. I was much rather that would be a billman. Jesus, okay. Just a few of these kills could give us a lot of their like crafting ingredients, which would make this fight even more lucrative, which is kind of what we need right now. If we could pick up a few hundred crowns worth of teeth and claws, that would be sweet. They've got a serious surround here on this billman. Okay, just maneuvering into better position here. I obviously don't like that we have a shieldless bro with a hood for a helmet, you know, on the front lines, but we'll be able to remedy that soon. I just have a strong feeling that they're going to take some of the kills that I set up. And to be honest, we won't even have to kill most of these guys. That's bad. I feel like once we kill a couple more, they're going to want to start to run. This is bad, but at least we have Kalki here with the big hammer. That's really bad too. And as much damage as he's absorbing, we wanted him to do some damage too. Yeah, don't kill me, please. Thank you. He straight up probably saved Hadabrand there. We're going to keep working our way around. Good kill. Okay. Once again, I want to get as many of these myself as I can, but I'm not going to do it at the expense of exposing ourselves to a ton of harm. That's not worth. So we'll step down here because I think it's safe. Temporarily. It may become unsafe though once this guy dies. It really depends on how this footman chooses to support me. Or not support me. As the case may be. I can't step forward or else I would. To lock another one out of that position. Good. Yeah, it sucks he took that kill. That's a lot of experience. Yeah, we're setting them up and they're knocking them down. Which I don't like. Because we really are the ones putting in the work on a lot of these kills. At this point, it's like a pure experience thing. It's just a lot of experience that we're not getting. All right, Bert, you got a tough fight here, buddy. That's a really safe spot to step in. He's surrounded by 2 guys who are running, and he also blocks off another corpse. Alright, that's some horns for us. That's some teeth. Alright. Good damage. Put ourselves in the best possible position to snipe out kills. A near full surround on this guy, and he's not even thinking about running yet. There he goes. Like I said, we're probably just softening them up for them to get the kill. So nice. We get another set of horns. I'll take that. Wouldn't be surprised if this billman here gets wrecked by this one next turn. And you let him go, you little jerk. We have a good shot at getting this kill, though. A very good shot. We have several of the assets immediately surrounding him. Plus we have 2 polearm bros. Don't you dare. Jesus. And that's why we don't much care who gets all the kills. We just want to be safe. We don't want to lose a bro to this fight. And here they go. It takes the kill. Dang it. Okay. Give it to me. Nice. And we get the brains for our trouble. Great hit. It's Werner that's pretty hurt. Let's make sure we don't step in with him. And they took the kill. Okay, and that's gonna be it, guys. We're not gonna be able to catch the other little booger. So when he wants to run, we'll let him run. Really happy we pulled him into this. But barring that, it would have been better to fight this type of a group in the forest. Had no way of knowing, of course, you know, what their like largest representation was. The fight over, you walk to a dead Nagzerer and take a knee. Were it not for a gate of ill-shapen teeth, you could easily fill... Man, my reading, guys. You could easily fit your head into the beast's oversized maw. Instead of admiring the dental failures at hand, you instead take out a knife and saw its head off, ripping through a very tough outer layer of skin, before surprisingly easily cutting through the muscles and tendons. You raise the head up and order the dirty peasants to follow suit. Reinhardt the Younger will be expecting some proof after all. And it kind of neatly brought us all the way back in a circuitous route to Gemmenstadt, so not a lot of wasted time either, which I appreciate. A steely-eyed Reinhardt the Younger leans forward to get a good look at the Nagzerer head you've brought in. That is quite the sight, mercenary. I'm happy you have brought it to me. He leans back. Leave it on my desk. Maybe I can scare the children with it. The little gits are getting too used to fineries, methinks. He snaps his fingers and the servant comes to give you some crowns. And they no longer have disappearing people. That's good. And you'll see here the prices are great now. Less than 200 for a stack of tools is a great price. I think we'll actually buy 2. And I don't think that's greedy whatsoever. And we'll hold on to the crafting ingredients. We can make stuff. We have the gold probably to even make the things that would be useful for us. Namely the necklaces. I don't know, what do we need? Do we have what we need? I don't think so. I think... we'll check when we get to the taxidermist. But I don't think we're going to do that today. No, let's pull up our perks. We have Rally the Troops on Kalki. 4 in hit points. That'll put him up over that 71 mark. Let's give him that 5 in resolve, and let's also give him a 3 in melee defense. And then we'll take Brawny as well. And then Werner here. Werner here, man, that's a nice 4 in range skill. He could end up being a really good, dedicated throwing weapons bro in time. This resolve has got to go up a little bit, even at the cost of a small amount of melee skill. It's got to go up. But he is almost certainly going to be a shield bro. But just in case, to hedge our bets, let's go Brawny right now, which I get on every single character. And we'll see. Because, I mean, he could end up being some sort of archer, weirdly enough, or hybrid type character. And then in that case, Shield Expert becomes a bit of a waste. So we'll hold off. But guys, I think that's it for today's episode. We've accomplished quite a bit. I don't know if it feels like it to you guys. But we're now up to, I think we started at 10 or 11 brothers today. And we've picked up several. Our archer game is becoming quite deadly. We also have some really strong two-handers here out on the flanks. We've got more throwing weapons than we did when we started. Our roles are becoming more defined. And we're already up to day 24. I think I mentioned at the onset that we would maybe stop around day 30. That's looking like maybe a little bit premature. But my general idea was to get up to 16 men, to have a working strategy, and a means of, you know, that feeling of being self-sustaining. And once I felt like I had achieved that, then that was the kind of the goal of this whole playthrough. So, is to kind of show you guys how, like, one way to do this. And, you know, from there you go off and you have your own ideas and you do your own type of playthrough. Or you can just copy me, whatever. But I think my idea is sound. And we're getting very close to that stable point. I think the only real instability that we have in our current playthrough is money-wise. And even then, we really don't, because we could always make like 4 grand at the drop of a hat. And you know, while I'm talking, I might as well just be moving towards stall. But yeah, we could always just drop that golden goose, and then walk around, like I said, make like 4 grand, and do a couple quests, and just have 5,000 crowns in the bank. You know, that is an option for us. So, are we really financially unstable? You know, is there anything that can really stop us other than, you know, egregious tactical errors on my part? Not really. So we're getting very close to achieving the actual goal. Man, I want to be in on some of these fights. But I was trying to say, we're very close to achieving the actual goal of this playthrough, which is to, like I said, just figure out a different company origin. Oh, let's do this first and then we'll end for today. So entering Thal, it isn't long until Wolfram is bothering the locals. He's slapping buckets out of their hands and kicking women into the mud. When an old man confronts him, the sellsword draws out his weapon. Other peasants beg that you put a stop to this at once. Yeah, stop this. This is our hometown. I don't care if this dude gets dissatisfied. This is our hometown. If we're role-playing this, like, we'll beat the hell out of Wolfram. Like, you can't do that, man. So as Wolfram raises his weapon on high, you grab him by the forearm and bring it back down. He swings around, looking at you sternly. The cowering old man backs off, soon collected by caretakers that shuttle him back inside before he gets himself hurt. And a few other peasants linger around, watching with keen interest. You tell the sellsword to back down. He's paid to fight who you deem he should fight, not a bunch of peasants who are minding their own. As Wolfram glances around, you realize you've let him no out that will save face. In his eyes, there's a look that says he's about to kill you. It'd be the end of him, but he'd go out with a suicidal pride intact. But the look fades, and embarrassment and humiliation take its place. He sheathes his weapon, spits, and remarks that he was only having some fun. Yeah, save it for when we get paid. So anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Whatever this is, we're almost certainly going to have to take it. Yep. Hunting down more stuff. I'm cool to do it. Man, why are the prices here so bad all of a sudden? Is it just disappearing villagers? So we're certainly not going to buy anything beforehand. But anyway, guys, prices to sell? Yeah, the prices to sell are horrible as well. What the hell? What happened? Did that lower our relations, that one event? Down to friendly? I thought we were higher than that. Anyway, y'all, that's it. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, my name is Brett, and as always, y'all, I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys.